really gotta work on my intros. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the page. Hope everyone had a good holiday season, you know, well rested holidays for those of y'all who got to like not work, and for those of y'all who still had to work, I feel your pain. Yeah, we're back, first video of the year. Technically, I don't know when these are gonna go out, but that's besides the point. Now that we're in 2025, I just wanted to like do a recap on my year in 2024. I was planning on doing like a director's reel or like a show reel to show like my projects that I did in 2024, but at the end of 2024, aka a few weeks ago, I decided to go on vacation, i.e. I'm not shooting, I'm not editing, I'm not touching anything media related, and I actually held myself to that, which big up. But at the same time, I've kind of been itching to like get a video out there, get a few, mind you, of these videos out to just talk about my year, talk about what changed, what stayed the same, specifically either gear or just workflow changes. So this video specifically will be talking about the workflow changes. Some things remain the same and some things I learned while working alongside another media agency, which, trust me when I say like they taught me so much. So yeah, let's get into it. First and foremost, the first thing I would say going into last year, I decided that I would change would be to shoot like most of my projects with kits. This year I decided to consolidate everything and build them out into kits. So an event package, a corporate package, a sports package, and so forth, so on. It's not as straightforward as it may seem, but for now, that's the basic layout. And basic is the best word to use because for events, instead of bringing any of my tube lights or any of my panel lights, I just bring one of my mini like small rig lights that I rest on top of my camera. Instead of bringing all my lenses and stuff, I bring just one, or sometimes I bring two for flexibility, but that's it. I bring my DJI microphones and I just slap that on top of the DJ deck, or sometimes I just don't shoot with audio. That way I don't have to care about it. I just put whatever audio I can get from the DJ or find something online. It doesn't matter. For the project scope and the project budget, I was bringing way too much and I realized other people weren't doing that. And I'm like, oh shoot, am I the only one doing this? Yes I was. So yeah, going into 2025, I will be bringing out kits. If you need me to bring out a specific piece of equipment, request it. If you need me to bring out a specific type of item or have a specific shoot style where I would need a specific item, I'm gonna start asking those questions and have those be written out and or just vocalized before I get on set. So yeah, kitting out my equipment to bring them on various projects is something I'm gonna be definitely keeping a consistent trend going forward. The second thing I did going into last year was remembering to reset all my equipment once I got home. Before that, not to say I didn't reset my equipment, or not to say I didn't like pack up and break down, but most of the times after I finish shoots, I'm really tired and I would just come in, drop it on my table and go to bed. And as simple as that may seem, as unproblematic as that may seem, you have to think from the standpoint sometimes of what if you get booked the next day, or what if you get booked like right after. You have to be ready to go at a moment's notice. So what I started doing is coming home, dumping all the memory cards that I used for that day, dumping the audio and everything, organizing the folders, you know, organizing basically my copies just to ensure that I have a backup, and also organizing battery systems. So I have 4 batteries for my camera. Usually I run through 2 per shoot, which for those of y'all who own a camera, you're like, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's pretty insane. I can run an entire 2-hour shoot off of 1 battery. So having 4 is pretty clutch. And then I have a power bank and all that. But 2 are usually fully charged and 2 are usually dead. Luckily, when I first got my camera, I got a dual charger that can charge 2 batteries at once. But basically, sometimes I ran through 3 batteries and then I would have to now figure out how to charge all 3. I had to basically ensure that 2 batteries are charged, wake up, switch it out to charge the other battery or charge the other 2. which was fine. Honestly, as I said, 2 batteries were perfectly fine for me, but always ensuring that 2 batteries were charged fully was a priority of mine. So came home, dumped media, came home, charged batteries, and that extended to all my equipment. So my gimbal battery, that usually can last me a whole week, so that wasn't even a factor. But my mini small rig light, if I'm running it at an event, if I'm being honest, I can get probably 3-ish hours out of it at like full power, maybe like 80% power. So I would have to charge that. I would charge my power bank if I used it on set, or something as simple as my phone. Like I'd ensure that my phone's charged, and that's that. So yeah, coming home and just resetting myself, resetting my equipment, that's something I took as a priority because, as I said, you never know. You might be shooting a specific event 1 minute and then you're like, all right, cool, that's a wrap for the day, time to go home. And then by the time you touch your door, you get a phone call, hey, are you available in like the next hour? And sometimes you're able to say no because, hey, it is what it is. You're tired, we're humans at the end of the day. But at other times, it's one of those jobs that you just don't want to turn down, you get me? So yeah, always ensuring that my kit's reset, keeps me organized. It keeps me just refreshed and ready to go, even if physically my body's tired. So that's something I definitely started doing and I will not stop doing. This part I kind of touched on when talking about resetting my gear, and it's the storage file system that I had. Usually what I would do is come home and just dump media onto a drive, specifically the drive on my laptop, and then just call it a day, go to sleep. But nowadays I'm shooting more and more projects that require a lot of shooting and like have a lot of media. So I'm shooting like 5-hour events or long form corporate media, or even like multi-day shoots. And I realized that putting all my files into just one folder, into just one drive, is not really as safe as you would like. For multi-day shoots, I usually keep the media on my cards. So technically my cards are my backup, but cards can die, cameras can break, God forbid. But I usually do have a redundancy, but it's Dropbox. So when I upload it to that drive, it syncs with Dropbox and then I have that copy. But obviously that syncing process takes time. You have to leave your laptop on or your system on. So having a separate drive is kind of what I needed to like fit my workflow going forward. What I started doing is making it a mandatory triple backup. So I back up to the drive that is on my laptop directly from the memory cards. I back up to Dropbox, but obviously that's a longer process, and I back up to an external. That external is usually the 1 terabyte drive that I have as my quote unquote share drive. Long story short, my share drive is what I give to other creatives if I'm on their projects, and I back up to that. That way they don't have to take my memory cards. They don't have to get a Dropbox link, a WeTransfer link, none of that. Here's the drive, mail it back to me, messenger pigeon it. I don't care as long as I get it back. Cool, if I don't, pay for it. But yeah, that drive, I basically just dump it on it, rename the project to whatever that client's name is, and I keep the footage there until everywhere else is fully backed up or until the project is done, and then I clear that for the next project. That's a workflow that I'm totally fine with as of right now. I don't really need a NAS, I don't really need like a bigger storage array, because in total, I think I'm running like probably 18 terabytes worth of storage. Obviously, yes, they're across multiple drives, they're on the cloud, they're on my system itself, but for now, that is fine, because the policy I'm rolling with is 1 year backup for important projects, or I should say large scale projects. And for quick turnarounds like reels or just event stuff, it's like 1 month. And 1 month, that's being generous. I usually do it for like 7-ish days after the project is done and exported, and I just wipe it. I'm actually proud of how much I shot last year. Again, that's why I wanted to do the show reel, but I don't want to edit that, so sorry about that. This one is not on my list that I had written down, but audio solutions. So here's the thing. As creators, we're always looking for songs, sound effects, stuff to put into our videos, and most of the times it has to be copyright free or it has to be royalty free, not only for our own content here on YouTube, but for client work and for social media for clients or whatever project, right? I found myself in a weird predicament of subscribing to a service and not necessarily utilizing it to the fullest capability due to me not being in their highest tier of like pricing. Here's the issue. Their highest tier of pricing would set me back a decent amount of money per year, and I'm a freelance videographer. I'm a basically student on top of it. I don't have the time to be delegating if I'm eating ramen this weekend or if I'm able to buy like some software that I need for school. So I had to like decide here and now, how am I gonna get my audio for my clients, for myself, you know, for the work that I need to do, right? With that being said, the service I landed on after price comparison after price comparison after price comparison was, well, Audiio. Audiio is a subscription-based music licensing service that allows you to license not only just royalty-free music, but also sound effects, the stems of those music tracks, as well as pretty much anything you might need for your video when it comes on to the audio related side of it. I personally chose to go with them because of their ability to have a lifetime license, meaning you pay a one-time fee and you basically own the product. The music that you can find on Audiio is so dialed and it's so fine-tuned that personally, every time I went on it since being subscribed to it, I've always found the track I needed, either for sports or for something more slow like a wedding, or even something cinematic like B-roll product shoot that I did, which I'll probably put out here someday. I don't know, gotta get permission on that. But their service to me personally is the best one out there for my workflow. There are other services out there that I guess maybe you might want to use, but I personally and strongly think for students or for people who are on a more budgetary side of things and you have to like, you know, pick and choose what services you subscribe to or what services fit your workflow, I have to strongly just suggest that Audiio is a pretty good service, and the reason why I stuck with them and the reason why I'm with them in the first place is because of that one-time buy model. Obviously, if you guys are looking to use their vast library of sound effects, the stems feature as well as the AI feature, as well as, you know, have the ability to license the TV and film, then I would definitely suggest subscribing to their pro plan, because those you don't get in the lifetime purchase, which I knew going into that. I just needed to license to clients as well as myself for YouTube, so that didn't really matter to me. But if those other features matter to you, I have an affiliate link in the description that gets you 70% off of your first year. And trust me, that's actually a lot. When you go on it and you see how much discount you get, I genuinely can't complain. The link helps me, it helps you, so feel free to check it out. And yeah, I can't really say anything better about Audiio than their good service, their price is right, and for a small creator like myself, who's a student, who's, you know, funding his journey as a creative, having a service that doesn't break the bank every single year or every single month is a godsend, especially for something that I need for my workflow. So yeah, if you guys want to check it out, go to Audiio. It should be audio.com. Again, I'll have a link in the description. The last two things that I want to talk about regarding my workflow change revolves around the fact that I started shooting more handheld. As you guys can see, my Ronin is right there. I love gimbal footage, I love stabilized footage, like that's why I'm a Lumix shooter. But I realized that for certain projects, or at least for certain looks that I wanted to get from my projects, the only way to get it was to go handheld. And if it either meant going handheld with stabilization off to get that like gritty look, or going handheld with, you know, high stabilization on to get that still gimbal look but not gimbal like look, if you get what I'm trying to say. I enjoyed it, if I'm being honest. Going handheld, especially for like more cinema style stuff, so I helped a few people with some short films. One of them was exclusively handheld and it came out pretty cool, and the other one was definitely more gimbal sided because it was on the street. We had to do like some walking sequences, but going handheld, it's pretty nice. And I think going into 2025, I'm gonna definitely do more handheld work so I can get better at it, as well as pulling focus. Even though I have just regular electronic lenses, I set the camera option to linear. That allows me to like have better control over it. So I know that doesn't really tie into handheld shooting, but technically it does. So yeah, I've been starting to shoot manual focus more and been shooting handheld more. So that's pretty cool. The final thing on the list is something that I didn't really do out of necessity, or I didn't do because it was required, you know, for any of my projects, but I started to incorporate sound design into my edits. And as small as, you know, some of the projects were in terms of when I put the little, you know, kick of the ball for like the soccer thing I was working on, or when I put like some birds chirping on another video I was working on, it didn't really change anything per se, but it added that little extra bit of ambiance, that extra bit of, like, if you heard it and you recognized it, you would give it a nod, you know, you'd be like, hey, but if you didn't hear it, it is what it is. I got that idea from a creative who sent his work to me on Discord, and I was like, hey, this is pretty fire. It was so sound design heavy that I was like, damn, could I see your timeline? And he showed me on Davinci, and I was like, all right, yeah, I gotta get to like this caliber of editing. I gotta get to this caliber of like workmanship. So yeah, that's something that I incorporated, or I'm gonna heavily start to incorporate if the project requires it. I'm not giving myself additional work if I don't need it, but I also want to increase my creative style, my creative vision. So yeah, sound design was the final thing that I changed workflow wise in 2024, and in 2025 I hope I don't have to change a lot more to my workflow, because as of right now I think I have a pretty nice streamlined path. But if I do change stuff, I'll make another video on it and I'll update you guys. But for now, that's pretty much it. As I said previously, I hope you guys had a well-rested holiday. I know some of y'all are going back to work, some of y'all are getting ready for school, as I am. And yeah, let's just keep the positivity, let's just keep the good vibes going into the new year. And for those of y'all who may not be positive or just may be going through a lot right now, keep your head up, keep pushing. And for those creatives who feel like they're in a rut, keep creating. That's pretty much it for me. I'm done. I'm gonna get this edited. When is it gonna go out? Don't know, but I'm gonna call it as usual. Thank you guys for being here. Like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs this year. Is that realistic? Maybe, maybe not. But if y'all can help me, then I'll make it. I'll see what I can do to help you have content to watch to help me make it. So with that being said, the usual vibe, you know what time it is. Be out. Bye.